The thing you need to know about me is that I hate confrontation. And by that I mean I hate confrontation. I hate it more than snakes, more than cockroaches, and even more than sharks, which says a lot for somebody who saw Jaws at such a young age that she feared sharks in chlorinated swimming pools. I would say that confrontation, if I could even say the word, is like my kryptonite, but it's really more like I will jump over a tall building in a single bound to avoid it. When it comes to me, that is. When it comes to friends and family, it's totally different. I will step in front of confrontation like a speeding bullet train, and without regard for life or limb, just shut it down. I once followed a family member into a public bathroom to try to end a dispute. Auntie, I know she didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I think if we... Oh, you're flushing. Oh, okay. If you could just flush your anger too, then we'll just go back and have a really lovely dinner. Yeah. I took that fear of confrontation into the dating world, and now in a world where we are online and in apps, it makes for a really bad combination because after all, you know, swiping left, it's mean. And if somebody asks you out for a date, like, you know, for a drink, like, feelings could get hurt. So I've gone on a lot of first dates, and by that I mean a lot of first dates. Some of them are really fun, really lovely conversations, just somebody who happens not to be my soulmate. Others were great, we just didn't quite click. You know, some were pretty awkward, and some were really boring. And then there was this one. It started out normal enough. He suggested meeting down at Slipstream on 14th, and beautiful day. So I walked down there and got there, was waiting up at the bar on a stool, and got a text. I'm late. Okay, no problem. Smiley face, send. And I ordered a mint lavender rooibos, something herbal, because I may have already had a coffee date earlier that morning and was sufficiently caffeinated. And I waited, and about 15 minutes later or so, he comes in, and I think the sky darkened. Like, he comes in, and he's not so much walking as sort of marching. It's like an angry march. And you can see not just one chip, but like 2 chips on his shoulders. And he crawls up on the stool next to me and is like, this place isn't very convenient. I'm like, well, that's interesting because you suggested it. But out loud, I say, well, I'm so glad that you could make it and that we have a chance to talk face to face and get to know each other. So we get into the usual, where'd you grow up? Do you have siblings? What do you do? Because it is DC. And out of nowhere, he says, so, you got any kids? It's like, well, I'm of the opinion that that's something you should disclose in your profile because it's kind of a big deal. But I wanted to keep it light, so I just said, not that I know of. Which is exactly, you guys are fabulous. Like, that's the response I was looking for. Instead, he doesn't crack a smile. And without any ounce of sarcasm or humor or soul, he says, oh, I get it. You're a whore. Yeah. I wish that I could tell you that I stood up and said, no, that is wrong. The correct term is sex worker. I happen not to be one, and I'm leaving. But that is not what I did. I wish that I could tell you that I got up and I threw my tea in his face, even though that would technically be assault, and I said, I'm leaving. But that's not what I did either. I told him a story. Oh my gosh, that's so much like this time when I first was out of school and I was in the kitchen at my job and I was heating up this lean cuisine and this old partner walks in and is like, is that your lunch? Did you make your lunch? And I was like, is he kidding? Because it's in a plastic with a little saran wrap. Like, who's, and I was like, but no, sir, like, it's a microwavable meal. And he says, well, every day my wife makes my lunch. And I said, I could use a wife. And this was in the days before marriage equality. So he did not know what to say, much like you didn't know what to say when I just said to you what I said, because it's funny. No. No. He still did not laugh, and I still did not leave. For the next 15 or 20 minutes, we continue to talk, or more accurately, I continue to carry the conversation until it was a non-confrontational time that I could finally leave, which I did. I wished him good luck on his soccer game that afternoon, left, crossed the street, blocked him immediately, and never heard from him again. I am not proud of that story. I am, however, still single, which means I have a lot more first dates to go. And in fact, if any of you guys out there are single, like, we should talk after the show. But know one thing. If you are ever unkind, if you are ever cruel, I will stand up without regard for life or limb. I will confront my fear of confrontation, and I will shut that